A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Today we are focusing on two very interesting companies that are making a mark in their respective sectors. Starting with a smart transportation app that provides a variety of services for bus travel in India, I'll be first chatting with Priya Singh, co-founder at Chalo. In the second segment, we are putting the spotlight on holiday homes with Varun Nagpal, founder Vianaar. Thank you, Priya, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Priya, firstly tell us, what was the idea behind building a mobility app like Chalo? Was it simply to make travel better for everyone, or were there other driving motivations?
When we were building Carwale, and I'm sure you know about it, that Carwale is India's leading car portal, which helped customers buy and sell cars. While building Carwale, we realized that cars are not the answer because it's India. Roads are overpopulated, then environment issue, fuel issue, and if you see that the major part of population in India, like 80% people in India depend on the public transport or the other modes of transport in our country. So while building Carwale, we realized that it's going to be not very sustainable option to promote car selling and keep doing what we were doing, especially living in Bombay, because 2.98% still people just use cars in India. And that's why this idea came of doing something in public transport. And when we talk about public transport, we have lot of people working public transport, but very few players in the city infrastructure, which is urban mobility within the city. And I'm not talking about intra-city or international, because this problem has got solved. When we talk about international, we have planes and schedules and timetables and everything is tracked. You talk about intercity also. Intercity, we have companies like live tracking the buses and scheduling and railway tracks and everything. But when we talk about the city, you still don't know where your bus is, when it will come, where you need to go. Nobody gives you visibility. So buses are not reliable. The entire transportation is disrupted. And when you go inside the bus, the entire experience is broken. So you don't know how to get tickets, where to go where, and how to track your bus itself is a problem. So we thought that we will just maintain the public transport and we will keep working on it. So this was the idea.
Now, Priya, you have over 20 years of experience across various sectors and startups. Tell us, how have your previous roles influenced your approach to leading Chalo?
My entire life has gone in volunteering. When I had summer trainings or people go on summer vacations and traveling, I used to be volunteering my services to society, and I have been NCC cadet and scouts and NSS. So I have been very passionate to work for society. Then I later on did my master's in social work with community and psychiatric development, and I worked for 10 years in development sector. So impact was one of the things which was very core to me, and I always wanted to do something which is going to give back to society and community for a very long time, and which is sustainable. So I think it becomes very evident and natural to me to get into something which is more impactful and which is touching lives more than what you get back from doing what you're doing every day. And it's very exciting for me to work every day for something which is giving back to society and doing something which helps the Aam Aadmi.
Priya, tell us, what have been the biggest challenges in scaling Chalo?
Most of the buses are run by private operators in India, like 70% buses, city buses are run by private operators. But the the normal image is that government run the buses, but except big cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, Chennai, rest of the cities, small cities, medium-sized cities are run by private operators. And then there are multiple players, like lot of operators are collaborating with each other to get those buses to run, and they come from a very traditional business mindset. One is to break the mindset that digital can be new thing, and converting them um, to this idea of getting digital and making buses viable was one of the tasks. Second thing is that buses run on losses. Most of the STUs and smart cities are running buses in losses. Transportation is very ignored, I think, segment wherein a lot of innovations has not happened so far. Now it's time has changed. Now EVs are coming and digitization people are talking about. But when we started 10 years ago, it was not a thing which people get excited about. So convincing people and pitching them that this can happen and you can run buses effectively, profitably, and you can increase your ridership was one thing which we had to do a lot of work around it. I'm not saying that it was very tough, but yes, it was a task to convince people and give them this perspective that buses can be run profitable, because human intervention is involved, wherein people do a lot of manual ticketing. Then there are auditors. Then you don't know where your bus is. Then there's no scheduling. There's no smart urban planning. There's no cash collection mechanism. So I think a lot of things were manual, and people couldn't see it initially. But when you scale up and when your model like Bombay works really well, and it becomes a model to look up to for India.
So in your opinion, how can entrepreneurs and small businesses leverage digital technologies to build successful ventures in today's market?
I think you should build a product centering people, which is what we do. A lot of people do a lot of things and their business model works. If you address those problems by ideating or empathizing with them, then you create, this is what we do, or we did. And a lot of people do a lot of ideas, but it worked for us that pick up problem which people are facing every day and there's no solution. So if you pick a problem, and it should be relevant also, it should be product market fit. So if your problem, you have identified a problem, but it is not fitting to a current scenario in the country, or state of affairs are not aligned to the problem, or they don't feel that it is going to be a big problem and it needs a solution, then it becomes a problem. But fortunately, we were lucky that we decided to work on it, and it was one of the biggest problem and disrupted industry. It's the entire industry is broken, so we could sail through, and we have been doing this. And second thing, I think what companies don't do is the innovation. So if you are constantly doing innovations in your present business model, and you keep doing things for betterment of the product and betterment of the people involved or people who are taking your services, then it becomes more relevant and apt for you as well as the community which you want to serve to.
Finally, what does the road ahead look like for Chalo? Can you share any future plans that you're excited about?
So we always say that we want to change 100 million lives. That's what one thing is. Second thing is we want to make our partners business viable and profitable, and we want to give them technology and innovation which they seek for, especially the kind of partners we have in especially government as well as private operators, because it's a very traditional run functionalities. And I'm very happy that a lot of partners, especially in government, IS officers and bureaucrats, they're very forward-looking people and they know what is happening in the world. So if you um, if you collaborate with them, it becomes far more effective and easy to implement and show it to world that this can work out. So that's what I think. It's very encouraging and majorly impactful for the bus transportation, because a couple of things which we innovated, like passenger indicator, our entire system works offline. So a lot of things which we do, which nobody has done in India, and it's like unique innovations which we have seen in India happening. So I think it's constant innovation which we want to do in improving the bus transportation and changing lives of people. And I want you and I and everybody should be taking buses. So EVs are coming, and if you put digital with EV, then all of us should be taking our buses to go to work and go to markets and go for tourism in the cities like Bombay and Goa and everywhere. So I think these are the plans.
Well, all the very best. Thank you so much, Priya, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In this segment, we are putting the spotlight on real estate with a special focus on holiday homes with Varun Nagpal, founder, Vianaar. Varun, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the real estate market, especially when it comes to holiday homes, has seen significant evolution in recent years. How do you view the current landscape, and what key trends do you believe will shape its future?
The trend of holiday homes is fairly new in the country, and I think it really kicked off post-COVID when people started, they were living in cities and they spent a lot of time there, and they finally took a break going to, some went to the hills, some came to Goa. So I think it just kind of really kicked off in a big way after that. And, it's a great investment for people because, you get to invest in a house, which gives you a capital appreciation. Secondly, you have a rental income that comes out, which comes every month. And there's also flexibility of usage. So it checks all the boxes of capital appreciation, rental income, and usage. So I think that's what is a big attraction, because it's kind of a hybrid model between a residential investment and a commercial investment, which is driving a lot of people to invest in holiday homes around the country. And we've seen an uptrend because we have a hospitality arm as well, where we see people getting really good returns month on month. So, and that's the reason more people want to buy houses, because, if you buy a house in a city, the yield would be like 1.5%, 2%. The capital appreciation is not that much. So that is one big factor. And the second thing for us, in fact, Goa has the biggest beneficiary has been the flight connectivity is improving month on month, which is giving access to Goa from different cities, tier 2 cities, which was not the case earlier. So yeah, so more people are visiting Goa, more people want to buy Goa because it's easy to visit Goa now.
So Vianaar was founded on your deep connection with Goa's culture and environment. Tell us, Varun, how does this personal passion influence your vision for Vianaar?
So, I was always very interested in design, and when I came to Goa, I thought that was a perfect canvas to, do something with design and real estate. And Goa also offered a place where you could also push boundaries in terms of do interesting creative things, which weren't the norm in the cities. So that was one of the biggest drivers. And that set the foundation for the company right from the very start. And even till today, we follow the same philosophy of doing interesting design, using materials that, which are more old school, which, one doesn't see in the cities anymore. And that's been one of the biggest drivers. And also Goa offers space.
Sure.
When you do a project. It offers, there's a lot of nature around houses. So interesting design with nature around it. It's just beautiful.
Now, I read that sustainability is a core focus at Vianaar. Could you share some of the sustainable practices you've implemented?
Recently, we've been trying to, really dig deep and see how we can really make a difference as far as and be sustainable. So for our construction projects, we make sure, everything, a lot of stuff comes in cartons, cement bags, plastic. So everything gets segregated on site and is responsibly disposed. So we dispose maybe hundreds of tons of, garbage from our construction sites every month, which is recycled. That is during construction. And also, while designing, we try to be mindful in terms of reducing our impact and our carbon footprint. So, for example, we would all our driveways, we don't have any. We don't have any PCC underneath, which means all the water seeps into the ground, recharge the water table. Then we have biodigesters, which recycle the toilet waste back into the plants. Then we have maybe do simple things like, of course, segregation of waste responsibly. And then we have aerators, which drop the flow of water by 70%. So these are a few things that we do. And we've set up a sustainability team within the company to make sure that, every month or every quarter we come up with something new to be more eco-friendly.
Sure. And how does Vianaar work with small businesses, or artisans to create homes that reflect the local culture and maintain high standards of luxury?
So, a lot of our designs do incorporate natural finishes, which means working with, like I give you an example of terrazzo tiles. So these are made in Rajasthan and are, there are only certain kind of people who, certain artisans who can make them, and they kind of live in a certain area around Bikaner. So it's about, and these styles, this is something which is, it's a dying art. So we feel, they're such beautiful tiles, they're eco-friendly. So this is one way of, by incorporating these in all our projects, we kind of help keep this technique alive. And then we also have other stuff like, plaster finishes, which again was the old school technique of doing internal walls in Goa. So supporting those lot of people and having these finishes in our houses another way. Then we have, certain furniture which comes from Nagaland. It's certain kind of wicker work which is only produced by a small village there. So when we buy stuff from them, it's about supporting the community there. So we do try and do it, and I feel it's so beautiful. All these products are so unique and beautiful. It's just that they're old school, and we feel we want to have old school techniques and in our projects which gels with the vibe of Goa.
Now tell us, Varun, as you plan to expand to regions like Kasauli, how do you assess market viability and ensure that your USP remains, compelling in new markets?
So Kasauli, we've launched in Kasauli, yes, and Kasauli is, I'm originally from Delhi, so it's been a holiday destination for like last 15, 20 years, and that's a lot to do with the school, the Lawrence School Sanar. So it was always a holiday home destination for people in the north, and mostly for houses. And lately, what I've realized is people want to own a holiday home, but they don't want to take any headache. It has to be absolutely, they want to enjoy the house when you're there, and they don't want to worry about upkeep and maintenance. So that's the expertise that we have developed over the last 15 years. We know and we understand exactly what is it like to design a holiday home, to live in a holiday home, what are the requirements of people when they live in these houses. So with that expertise, we feel, Kasauli was very easy as a decision because it's very close to Delhi. A lot of people anyway have a lot of houses there. So yeah, and we know we have this expertise to build and maintain a holiday home. So Kasauli was an easy decision, yeah. But we're also expanding now we're expanding internationally as well. We've just launched our first project in Sri Lanka, south of Sri Lanka, and that's one. Apart from this, we're exploring other geographies like Alibag within the country and maybe Thailand as well.
So Varun, real estate market development often involves, navigating complex regulatory environments and also market fluctuations. Tell us, what strategies do you have in place to maintain financial resilience and growth in the face of economic uncertainties?
So, every new geography has its own challenges, and, the best way to, uh, mitigate a risk is to not, is to basically do a small project. For example, Goa, we've been here for the last 15 years, so we understand exactly how the system works. So it's very easy, and we have a whole ecosystem here. But when we enter a new geography, we tend to either do a joint venture or come up with a small project. For example, in Kasoli, we've done a joint venture with a local partner, so that obviously mitigates our exposure. It reduces our exposure to a great extent. Sri Lanka, we are doing it on our own, but it's only eight villas. So this is one way of reducing exposure by partnering with a landowner, or say doing a smaller project. Because once you do a project, it's then only you kind of understand what you have to go through the process to understand the challenges.
Great. And looking ahead, what is your long-term vision for Vianaar? How do you plan to innovate?
So, like I said, we've in the last 15 years, we've developed a very niche expertise of building and maintaining holiday homes. We've also now ventured into hospitality, which means people can also, rent these homes out, because most of the time these houses are not occupied. So we kind of complete the whole circle, which is building homes, maintaining homes, and renting homes. So this expertise now that we've built, we feel we can, take it out of Goa and take to new geographies like Kasoli, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Alibag. So the model will still be the same. We'll be, building holiday homes, and we'll just be entering new geographies. So the idea is to continue the knowledge and the expertise that we've built in the past and take it forward to new places.
Thank you, Varun. It was great chatting with you, and it was good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.